Today, we're going to be testing out Pony Alpha, which is a brand new stealth model, as you can see right here, available on OpenRouter. It's free to use on the API. And there's a lot of rumors actually that this is GLM 5, which I'm excited to test out. I've also seen a lot of cool stuff coming out of this. You can see that it's most being used inside Code and OpenClaw as well. And it literally just came out a couple of days ago. So you can see this is Pony Alpha. If you want to get access, you can go to openrouter.ai and then get access right here. I've got a full guide inside the Air Profit Boardroom. And if we go directly into this, we can start chatting with it here, or we can use it via the API. We can also, for example, create apps, landing pages, etc. using this. So for example, if we wanted to create a landing page, what we could actually do is we could take the information from my existing page for the Air Profit Boardroom here, go back to the chat, and test out designing a landing page for this website using the Pony Alpha API, right? So we'll say create a beautiful landing page for this content, make it beautiful, interesting, modern, etc. Right? We'll head into like so. And then that'll start to code this out, right? So you can see it's actually beginning to code this out with Pony Alpha right there. Now, a lot of people, there's a lot of rumors about this. Obviously, it's a stealth model, so no one really knows what it is. Some people saying it's a Chinese model. Some people are saying it is GLM 5. And then other people are even saying it's Sonnet, which is interesting. I don't think it's Sonnet. I think it could well be a Chinese model. If we go inside the chat here, you can always ask it like, okay, what model are you? But bear in mind, like usually when you do this with stealth models, like they don't give you the right answer and it's kind of hidden. But you know, you could ask it, okay, what model are you? Directly like that, right? So it's beginning to build out the index HTML here. You could also use this inside your favorite IDE. So for example, if you wanted to use it inside anti-gravity, we could go to extensions, search for something like Klein, install that. And anti-gravity is a free IDE, plus you can use Klein directly inside there. And then once you've done that, just log in. Open it up and boom, right? You can start using this. So if you want to get access to the model, you can see Pony Alpha is available right there, right? And you can actually use it for free if you just plug in the API key for OpenRouter inside your settings here. So make sure you got client set up. Then we've got OpenRouter and Pony Alpha. And if we say, okay, create a mini Pomodoro time app, something like that. You can get started. Now, the other option that you have is you can use Claude Code as well. And finally, you've got Claude Code as well. In fact, Claude Code is the most popular place for testing this out. And then inside Claude Code, if you go inside the settings, select your API provider as OpenRouter, get API OpenRouter key, Then we're going to go inside the key section here, grab one like so. Once you've done that, go back to anti-gravity here. Type in Pony, and you can start using OpenRouter with Pony Alpha, as you can see. If we hit save there, go back inside the chat, make sure we've got Pony Alpha selected. You can select code inside Claude Code, and then say, okay, create, whatever you want to build. And that'll begin to start using right here. Right? And we've got a 200K context window, which is actually, to be fair, relatively small these days compared to, for example, Claude Opus 4.6 just got released with a 1 million token context window. And also you've got Gemini with 1 million too. So this is beginning to go down now. Murat says, hi, good to see you. Amarya says, been running Pony in Kilo for free. It's really good. I'm excited to see what we get back from this. And you see this code now in the chat here. Bear in mind, with these stealth models, they're usually not around for that long, so just be careful of that. Quite often, they're just on like a quick trial and then they get taken off OpenRouter. So if you want to test it out as soon as you can, rather than later, because if you test out later, it may already be gone. Harcy says, do you have any blogs? Yeah, we've got a blog at juliangoldie.com. And also you can check out the Reddit subreddit AI SEO Insider. So you can see we're beginning to get back the HTML for the website here. And inside anti-gravity, we're using Claude Code as well. So you can see it's already creating the style CSS. Amara says, I really hope this GLM 5 is equal to Opus 4.5. It's going to change the game if true. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like if it's, GLM 4.5, like GLM 5, like if you can run it inside Olama, if you can use it for way cheaper than Opus 4.6, and if it's just as powerful, like that's going to be crazy. Deep says, what's Pony Alpha? So just to recap on this so far. So Pony Alpha is a brand new stealth AI model that just launched through OpenRouter. It's completely free and optimized for 4 main areas, right? So coding, AI agents, reasoning, and creative content. So for example, here, if we have a look, we've got the announcement from OpenRouter. This was just literally a couple of days ago. And this is a next generation foundation model. Strong performance on coding, reasoning, and roleplay. It's optimized for agentic workflows with high tool calling accuracy too. Here's some of the specs. So right now it is free, decent context window, decent speed, and it's already the #1 model being used inside Claude Code and OpenClaw, right? Which is pretty crazy. So if we go back to it now. We've got the app here. And we can run this command and then host it locally for the app that we built with Pony Alpha. Mario says tool calling equals good for OpenClaw. That's a good point. Then we're going to run this command. And we have the Pomodoro app right here ready to go. And it actually works. Look at that. So that was pretty easy to build. We can reset that. We've created it locally for free inside Claude Code. So we've got the free API directly here. We can host projects locally. We can build mini apps, websites, games, landing pages, etc. If we go back to the OpenRouter chat, we have the HTML. Looks like it's still being generated inside the chat. So it does seem a little bit slower than usual, but it is in beta. And also probably a lot of people are using it right now because you've got everyone on OpenClaw and also everyone inside Claude Code using this. And then in terms of usage, you could, if you want to access this, number one, you could use it inside OpenRouter with the API access. Number two, you could use Claude Code with Visual Studio Code or Anti-Gravity. Install the extension and select Pony Alpha like I did today. And then the final option is like you can actually install OpenClaw and then select Pony Alpha as your model. And, in terms of what you could use it for, it could be like content creation, coding, building websites, landing pages, AI agents, etc. One thing to note is like everything is logged because it's on a beta test. So I think they collect a lot of the data that's used on the API. So, that's just one thing to be aware of. And then you can see the official links here. So this is all inside the AI Profit Boardroom for the notes today. It is quite slow for coding out landing pages, as you can see. But if you want a faster way of using it, I would recommend Claude Code. You seem to get much faster outputs directly here. And the Pomodoro app itself looked pretty cool. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already, check out the AI Profit Boardroom community. This is an amazing community that shows you how to automate your business with AI, scale up, and save time. Now, inside the community, you can ask questions. You can get help and support whenever you need it. And you can also join our accountability group like you can see right here. So you can post your goals, and if you struggle with overwhelm or information overload or anything like that, you can post your goals and stay 100% laser focused on that. Additionally, you can see that it's not just me winning with AI. So we have so many members just absolutely crushing it. So for example, Chris, he built his first NA10 automation ever, which is pretty amazing. Steve Light has completed 25 days of his 30-day YouTube posting challenge. And Russell landed a client with his digital avatar based on the training inside the AI Profit Boardroom. We also do 4 weekly coaching calls. You can jump on these coaching calls, get help, get support whenever you need it. And also inside the classroom here, you can learn how to go from beginner to expert with AI in just 5 weeks, plus learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. If you're interested in daily updates, we have daily guides updated inside here. So you can see we've added 2 guides today alone. And then also, you can get all of my best playbooks. So if you want to learn how to create avatar videos, if you want to automate shorts, Twitter, Instagram, etc., you can get that all inside the AI Profit Boardroom, along with a course on how to get more clients, how to rank with AI SEO, plus how to grow a YouTube channel based on what's working for me. So feel free to get that link in the comments description, or just go to aiprofitboardroom.com. What questions do we have here? And Rhea says, I ran it for a refactor job. It made 3,000 code line changes and just one minor error. That's pretty insane. Harseman says, I will try to build my portfolio through this. Yeah, just bear in mind it is in beta. All right, so test it out, see what you think. I don't know if I'd use it for my main projects, but it does seem pretty cool. Well, Gabrielle from Brazil, good to see you. Credo says, I'm encountering an error with OpenClaw. It says 400 Pony Alpha is not a valid model ID when I try to link it up. I'm going to try it out and test it out as well. Wood says, you ever turn off OpenClaw, or can you turn off? Yeah, I turn it off quite often, but bear in mind, like, I'm always uninstalling it, installing it, etc., because I do so many live streams on it, right? So like, I'm probably not the best example, but if you do want to learn about how to use it, just check out the classroom, and then we've got a 6-hour course on OpenClaw inside this section right here. And then Noah says, like, what's the best way to save tokens when you're using OpenClaw? So we actually have like 3 different methods for using this, right? If you go inside the Moltbot course here, we've got 3 free ways to use OpenClaw, right? So if you want to learn how to do that, it's inside here, and you just go to the Moltbot course section, and you can find the instructions for setting up right there. So today we're going to be testing out Pony Alpha with OpenClaw. Now this is a brand new stealth model. I've tested out, it seems pretty cool so far. And also you can use it directly inside OpenClaw. In fact, if you look at the 2 main places it's being used, number 1 is Claude Code and number 2 is OpenClaw. So if you want to get access to this, the first thing you need to do is make sure you have an OpenRouter account and then grab an API key, and then we can plug that directly into OpenClaw today. So that's what we're going to set up. If you don't know how to install OpenClaw, I'll show you how to do it today in like 2 minutes. And also something to bear in mind here is, like, when you're setting this up, you also are using a free API. So that's one of the biggest benefits of using something like Pony Alpha. It is rumored to be GLM 4. It's rumored to be GLM 5, and it's a pretty powerful API. Creates good outputs from what I've tested so far. And the way that we can install OpenClaw is we're going to run with this, but I'm actually going to get Claude Code to set this up with the Pony Alpha method, all right? So we're going to make sure we have the API installed with Pony Alpha. So I'm just going to run Claude Code here, and then I'm going to say set this up and use the Pony Alpha API from OpenRouter as the main API. And then I'll make sure I give it the link to Pony Alpha, which we can see right here. All right, so it's got the GitHub from OpenClaw, and then we're going to give it the details and the documentation on using Pony Alpha as well. So let's grab the information from here. We'll paste it into Claude Code, and then we'll get started on installing that. Flavin says, did GLM come with a new model? A lot of people are saying this is GLM 5. Obviously, if you ask it, it's not going to tell you. It is in stealth mode, so nobody knows, just to be 100% honest with you. And also, one thing to note here is like, this is a free API, but it's in beta testing, which means like, number one, it might be slow sometimes. And number two, there might be some instances where it doesn't work as smoothly as you want it to because it's in beta testing. So just something to bear in mind here. Also, it could get taken down soon. So I'd recommend if you're going to try and use something like this, make sure you use it as soon as possible. If it's only going on a sandbox machine that have, people are even setting it up with like OpenClaw, people are setting it up with their mobile phone and everything. With Z AI sub, can I use it? So you would use GLM 4.9 if you wanted to use your subscription. What else we got here? Noah says, when starting with OpenClaw, what are the steps you need to take, right? What are the steps? Like, give it a big rundown of who you are and your business breakdown. Yeah, I would say, number one, tell it everything you can about who you are, what you do, etc. The more information, the more context it has about you, the more useful it's going to be when it comes to using these tools, because it understands you, understands the use cases, right? And so, like, really what you want it to do is, like, have a lot of information so that it can, like, join the dots together and figure out, okay, what's the best option in terms of using this. Alexander says, you seemed to be talking about replacing Moltbot. So Clawbot, Moltbot, OpenClaw, they're all the same thing, but now it's officially changed its name to OpenClaw. So we're just going to get this set up. When did GLM 4.9 come out? What were the upgrades? So I've got loads of videos on that if you haven't seen it already. In fact, if you go inside the AR Profit Boardroom here, sorry, GLM 4.7. That's my mistake. It should be 4.7, not 4.9. So GLM 4.9 didn't come out, but GLM 4.7 is out. So too many numbers to remember. Just going to wait for this to install. And then we need to get an API key. So you can see it says, do you have a OpenRouter API key? And I'll say, yes, I'll provide it. And it says, please paste in your key. So I'm just going to get that now. So you can see now it has set it up. It's got to run the onboarding and everything else. And we just need to add our API key for OpenRouter. So let me do that. Flavin says, got excited for a second. Sorry about that, mate. Just setting this up in the background. Obviously, it's got my API key inside OpenClaw, so I'm not going to share my screen right now. In the meantime, whilst waiting for that to set up, I can actually run through some of the FAQs and that sort of thing on Pony Alpha. So let's see what we got. Do you know if anyone has made the same system as good as Agent's team from Claude Code to work in OpenClaw to work on any model in OpenClaw? Not as far as I know, however, a lot of people are raving about Swarm agents with Kimi K2.5, but I just don't think that Kimi K2.5 is anywhere near as good as Claude Opus 4.6. Dogger says, more new things for me to try. Thank you. Looking forward to building my optimized setup. Happy to help. You're not walking today. I'm gonna test not walking because somewhat I think I got a few comments saying like people didn't like me walking or it's a bit distracting, which I can understand on the videos. So I'm not gonna walk today. Can you show inside your paid community? Sure. What would you want to see? So, for example, this is the AI profit boardroom, right? So if you want to see this, basically what we have here is my AI automation community. And you can learn basically how to automate your business with AI. Now, if you're interested in OpenClaw, ClawBot, Maltbot, etc., go to the SAP updates here. Today, I'm going to show you how to automate your inside this section, you can learn everything you need to know. So we've got a 6-hour course on OpenClaw with a full setup guide, like you can see. We have a full Maltbot course here as well. And we show you 3 free methods to use OpenClaw. So if you're interested in that, we've got it right there. We've got a full guide on OpenAlpha, Claude Code, persistent memory, etc., OpenClaw and Notebook LM. Pretty much everything that I learned about OpenClaw I put inside here as well. You're not walking? Yep, I explain why. Jared says, but the quality of these virtual avatars is amazing. You can barely tell it's AI. Yeah, we actually have a full training on that inside the classroom here. If you go to this section, you can see that we have a full training on AI avatar videos, plus how we do the screen shares and everything else. Keep walking, man. Okay. And then haters gotta hate, yeah. Something like that. Something like that. All right. So we've got Pony Alpha, I think, online here. It says Pony Alpha is online. I'm gonna say, hey, how are you? We'll just check it's okay. And it says, hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Just getting settled in here. What's on your mind today? It's actually quite humanized, like the way it talks back and that sort of thing. Do you have concerns with ClawBot? So if you want to learn how to avoid troubles like that, go inside the section here for SAP updates inside the Profit Boardroom, and then go to the Malt Worker setup. So if you want to learn how to use this on a more secure setup, use Malt Worker. Basically what this allows you to do is sandbox your ClawBot, and then also you have to approve anyone before they can even start using your ClawBot. And additionally, they need an email verification code before they can start using it. So we've got a full video tutorial where I set it up right here, and then the full setup guide on exactly how to use it. So now you can see we've got OpenClaw ready to go, and we can start using it for free. All right. Just want to say, like, it won't tell me, but I'm going to say what API you're using. It does seem a little bit slow to respond as well, but just bear in mind, like, you're getting a free API, so like it swings and roundabouts before you get any comments about that. Gal says, shout out to Ava does AI. Yeah, that's it. Do you automate OpenClaw with the avatar videos? Yeah, I've got tutorials on that. So what you can do is you can plug in your API keys for generating avatar videos, and then you can plug them into OpenClaw and say, like, create the avatar videos, blah, blah, blah. And then also what you can do there is you can install Remotion. Remotion is a free skill available on GitHub, which can produce videos and animations and also edit your existing animations. So you can say, like, edit this with OpenClaw, blah, 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 right? So if we go back inside the chat here, I just wanted to double check that we're actually using the right API. And I've said here, what API you're using, and it said I'm running on OpenRouter's API, specifically using the Pony Alpha model. Now, if you go through the onboarding with OpenClaw, like the typical onboarding where you plug in your OpenRouter key, and then you scroll through like 100 API models to get to a Pony Alpha, I think number one, it doesn't show because it's so new. And then number two, it's a long list anyway, right? It's so annoying, like scrolling through that list and trying to find like the API that you need. So I think this is a better way to do it, honestly. Give it Suno API and watch it make a party playlist. That's amazing. Dogger says, it's fantastic. Just needs setting up correctly and safely, 100%. Cred says, I see it wants to be set as a primary model, not as a fallback. it's working after I set it up as a primary model. Interesting. And then For Real says, is it free? Yes, it's free. How much does it cost you to make the AI videos? It depends how long the video is and that sort of thing. But yeah, it really depends how long the video is, honestly. And then Dogger says sometimes you have to press refresh in the top right. And then which one do I recommend for OpenClaw, VPS or Mac Mini? I don't think you need either, honestly. Like a lot of people bought Mac Minis for OpenClaw, which you don't need. But also, when you've got a VPS, I would say that's less secure for setting up, right? So I'd rather set it up locally so that no one else can access it rather than a VPS. And if you want to be really secure, then you would just use something like Worker. So that's basically how to set up Pony Alpha inside OpenClaw. You can see it's working. You can see it's confirmed that it's used the API. Again, I would recommend using something like Claude Code to set this up. But if you don't want to do that, what I'll do is I'll create a guide for you here on how to set this up step by step. Julian, can you show us how to use Abacus API with this? I actually don't have an Abacus API anymore, simply because like I think a lot of these tools have replaced Abacus, and you don't need to use Abacus anymore. I'd say, like, you know, even OpenClaw, for example, is like a more customizable version of OpenClaw from of Abacus from what I've seen. So I don't really talk about Abacus so much anymore, and I don't see it as like a major contender, although it was a really good tool before. So whilst we're waiting for this to load on creating the guide, what I'll do here, 1 second. Just going to test something out. So we say, okay, open up my browser and Google the latest AI news. Let's see if it can do it. It should begin to start using that. And you can see it can use a browser. We just need to set up the OpenClaw extension for Chrome. I got loads of training on that inside here. And then also what I've done is, if you want to know exactly, because it's not easy to set up Pony Alpha with OpenClaw, but it probably is worth it because you can use it for free, all right? So what I actually did is ask Claude Code to create a guide on exactly how to set this up based on what worked for me, right? So Claude Code was the one that got this set up, working, etc. And I've created a full guide on exactly how to set this up with Pony Alpha on OpenClaw, so you can use the free API here. We've got a full setup guide right there, and then you can go from there to start using this, all right? But yeah, it seems pretty good. I mean, the fact that you can use it for free is pretty amazing. What else we got here? More for access to different models, or would you recommend OpenRouter instead? Yeah, OpenRouter. If you want access to more models at more times, you can either install multiple APIs, or you can just use OpenRouter inside there and switch between sub-agents. JF says, could you explain better how to install OpenClaw? So do you not want to use a Mac Mini? You don't need to use a Mac Mini. Like that's like something a lot of people came up with, but it's not required. It's not necessary. You don't need it. You can install it even on an old phone or a Raspberry Pi or an old laptop, right? Like you don't need a Mac Mini to use OpenClaw. Bear in mind, like OpenClaw is running in the cloud, and you can connect it to Telegram. So once it's connected to Telegram, it doesn't really matter what device it's on, right? Like you're using it through Telegram, which is a mobile app anyway. Do I actually use MemoryBot? Not so much, not so much. But I did create a guide on exactly how to set up and use it because it's easier to set up and download rather than something like OpenClaw. You can see, for example, like, with comments like this, like I can see that still some people are confused about how to use OpenClaw, how to set it up, and it's so simple. Like you've seen today, you can set it up in 5 minutes. You can use Claude Code to help you set up. You don't need a special device for this, and MemoryBot is even easier to set up, but either way, you're winning with this stuff, all right? And anyone can access it. And now with Pony Alpha, anyone can access it for free. So thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. This is my AI automation community that helps you scale up, save time, and automate your business with AI. If you join, you can post inside the community, get help and support whenever you need it. There's 2,300 members in here, and there's always people online ready to help. It's very active. So for example, like Renee posted, she got 2 comments already on a Sunday as well. You can see that it's not just me winning with AI as well. So for example, like Chris built his first ever NA10 workflow. Steve Light completed day 25 of his YouTube posting, and Russell landed a client with his digital avatar, right? So if you want to learn how to use this stuff, you can get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Inside the calendar here, you can jump on live coaching calls, get help and support live whenever you need it on a Zoom call. You can also meet people in your local area using the maps. You can DM people, jump on Zoom calls, or ask to meet them in real life. On top of that, inside the 6-week AI Automation Masterclass, you'll learn how to go from beginner to expert with AI automation in just 5 weeks. Plus, you'll learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. On top of that, you'll get all my best playbooks for AI avatar videos, shorts, Instagram, automating X, etc. And inside the classroom here, you can get my latest AI updates. Now, we update this community every single day. That's why I'm constantly doing these live streams and just showing you the new cool stuff, because this stuff evolves every day. So for example, Pony Alpha just came out. We've got a full guide on what Pony Alpha is, how to use it, etc. And then we've also got a full guide on how to set up Pony Alpha on OpenClaw based on what worked for me, right? So if you want to get daily updates, if you want to stay up to date with OpenClaw, if you want to get all my best trainers on this stuff, you can get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom right here. You can also learn how to get more clients using the agency course, how to rank #1 with AI SEO, plus how to grow and scale a YouTube channel based on what's working for me. So that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Let's see what we got here in the questions. Can Claude Code, Vibe Code? Well, I think it could Vibe Code in the same way that Claude or any of these other apps could. Yeah, and you can deploy stuff with Netlify. Just make sure that you've tested it, and it's up to your standard and your audience's standard first before you release anything. Is it more about what you want OpenClaw to do? If you want OpenClaw to do more intensive tasks, you need a more intensive machine. No, I wouldn't say so, because again, it's running through the cloud, right? Yeah. And also bear in mind, like, you're connecting it to APIs and MCPs across the internet. So most of the stuff that you do inside there, unless it's really crazy, is going to be cloud based. The Blanket says, cheers, joined the AI Profit Boardroom yesterday. Excited to start the journey. I really appreciate what you have going on. Thank you very much for joining, and excited to see you inside there. JF says, thank you for clarifying. I was just scared where to install. Yeah, so if number one, if you're scared of using this stuff and you're not sure what you're doing, like, don't use it, right? Like, you can just watch my videos and just learn from those, and you don't have to install anything. Bear in mind, like, it could be like next week there's another new technology, or you can use more secure stuff like Claude Cowork and that sort of thing. So you don't have to use OpenClaw. Like, for most people, like, a lot of people, they don't even need OpenClaw. Where can we download the guide? Inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. Doris says, thanks, Julian. I appreciate your dedication. Thanks for keeping us up to date. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Please have a suggested learning path for new joined members. Yes, actually, when you join the AI Profit Boardroom, we ask you, like, what are you here for in the DMs? And then you get 5 options. And based on that option that you give us, we give you the dedicated journey, right? So we tell you exactly where to go and what to do. And if you're really stuck, if you're not sure where to go, then just go to the start here section, right? So you go inside the classroom, start here. There you go. Boom. Flavian says, have you been playing with agent teams in Claude Code? Yeah, I have. It's really cool. Agent teams is amazing. I did a test yesterday. And I've got a full training on it right, where is it now? Here. All right, so we have a full training on agent teams plus a video tutorial. It's pretty crazy. I'll give you an example. So yesterday, for example, what I did was I created a team of thumbnail designers inside Claude Code, gave it access to Google AI Studio so it could code via Nano Banana and generate images. And then I said, just create 3 different thumbnails for me. And then it went off and did it. And I got like three thumbnails in like one prompt using Claude Code with an agent team. Pretty amazing. And the Planket says, thanks, mate. I appreciate you too. So thank you very much, sir. So today, we're going to be looking at how to use Claude Code with Claude Mem. So it's called Claude-Mem, and this is a way of getting persistent memory inside Claude Code. You can see this tweet here from Tech with Mac, who talks about it. He says, close Claude Code, use Open Claude Code. Close Claude Code, open Claude Code. It remembers everything using this, right? So we're going to test this out, see how it performs today. The way that I'm going to use this is, one second. So the way that I'm going to use this is I'm just going to install it with terminal directly using Claude. So if we open up Claude Code here, we'll use Claude Code to set up memory inside Claude Code, all right? So I'm going to say install this so that you can remember everything. Bear in mind, like, this is an open source skill. Always be careful when you install stuff from GitHub or that sort of thing. I test out live on YouTube to show you cool stuff. Just make sure you read through the GLM files and everything else and run it through Claude before you use it, just to be careful here. And Greg says, silly question, it's probably been answered already, but are you not concerned with the security in OpenClaw? So there's a few things that I'd recommend, and I've covered it a lot inside all of my OpenClaw videos. But if you go inside here, if you're concerned with security, set up Malt Worker, right? Malt Worker, there's a full guide inside the app offer body. We'll show you how to set up OpenClaw on Cloudflare. Why is that important? It's important because they protect half the internet. They're focused on security, and also you get to sandbox your OpenClaw from the internet. Also, you approve anyone before they can even use it. And finally, one sec. And finally, they can they have to get an email verification code before they can log in. So that's 3 ways to make sure the OpenClaw is more secure using Malt Worker. And again, like, if you're not comfortable, if you're like, I'm worried about security, blah blah blah, don't install it. Like, don't use anything that you're not comfortable with, right? Like, that's the main principle. I think some people forget that. But yeah, it's like if you're looking at something, you're like, not sure if I should use that, don't use it. So from here, we're gonna get terminal to set up the GitHub, like you can see. You might be wondering what it is, how it works, etc. So let me talk you through that as well in the meantime. So Claude Mem is basically a plugin for Claude Code that gives it permanent memory across your coding sessions, right? So it's kind of like giving Claude a brain that never forgets. And the problem is, like, every time you close Claude Code, you open it again and it forgets everything, right? So it forgets all the stuff that you've done. You have to re-explain everything from scratch. Quite annoying. So with Claude Mem, this automatically captures everything Claude does, compresses it in searchable summaries, and loads relevant context when you start new sessions, right? So there's no manual work required. This is fully open source as well. And if we go into terminal now, we should start setting up. I actually have this on the left-hand side, so it's easier to manage. There we go. It's also quite easy to install because you can just get Claude Code set up in the first place. And then how it works, simple explanation. It automatically captures stuff, right? So every time Claude uses a tool, reads a file, or makes a change, Claude Memory captures it in the background. This also allows you to do AI compression, right? So this is basically like a background service using Claude's agent SDK to compress observations in summaries, right? And so like it just reduces the amount of tokens you use. Top of that, you got smart retrieval. So when you start a new session, Claude Memory automatically injects relevant context. It doesn't like just put everything it ever remembers inside there. It uses like just little bits, little tidbits to give it memory back to what you need. And then also you can search when you need it. So you can ask Claude, like, when did we work on this yesterday? Or what did we do here? Or show me the database changes, or show me the changes you made on this, blah, 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 right? So the key features here are that you get persistent memory, you get progressive disclosure. So it loads a lightweight index first to save tokens. You've actually got a real-time dashboard, apparently, when you set this up. You got privacy controls as well, so you can actually wrap stuff in private so it doesn't remember it if you want to keep anything private. Your automatic operations and natural language search, right? And it's also automatic. That's the beauty of this, right? It just works automatically. So every time we use Claude Code, it's just going to remember stuff in the background. We don't have to do anything. Now, why would this be useful? Well, number one, for content creators, you can remember all your content. You can track topics you've already covered, reference past successful formats, maintain continuity in series content, and search like, what did I say about X in previous videos, right? Just to stay consistent. For coders, it's great because you get like architectural decisions that persist forever. Bug fixes are remembered, refactoring history stays accessible, code patterns you've used before, and why did we build it this way sort of stuff is ready there as well. So now what we have to do is just edit this. I'm just going to click enter inside the chat. You can also use it for AI agents. I think that's one of the most powerful ways of using this is like, you know, it can remember how you use AI agents, the teams that you set up, etc. So I'll show you in a minute, but if I said like set up a team that creates YouTube thumbnails, right, inside Claude Code, and then I closed Claude Code and reopened it, at the minute, it wouldn't remember those thumbnails. But if I reopen it with persistent memory setup, Claude Mem, then we can get better we can get better memory options in the future. It also saves a lot of tokens as well because everything is summarized, so it loads compressed summaries. So for example, previously every session would reload the entire project context, whereas now you just load these compressed summaries, right, which uses less tokens. You can also see here we've now cloned and set it up. So here's what we've done. We've set up Claude Meme, registered it, installed it, ran the setup, and we now get persistent memory. Plus, we can actually see past session history via this local host, right? So if we go here, we can check out the web UI in a second. There we go. So this is Claude Mem. So you can see this is the history of whatever we've done inside Claude Code. And now it is running in the background, right? So this is our memory stream. So if we close Claude Code now, and then open up, we'll say like, okay, build a simple SEO, let's say build a simple Pomodoro timer, something like that, right? So we created this simple Pomodoro timer here, right? And then what we're going to do inside the chat here is we're going to close Claude Code. open it up again. And just check this is working. You can see the history inside the chat here. So if you open this up inside the console, you can see what we've worked on. And then we'll say, okay, open up that Pomodoro timer you just created. And there you go, right? It's reopened it, the exact same file. So it's not like create a new one or anything like that. It's like remembered, okay, this is the Pomodoro timer that we just built. Boom, we've got the memory right there. So it's pretty awesome to have that feature. I think it's really good to set up. Once you set up once, it's automatically running in the background. You've got the full console history right here. You can auto refresh this as well. You can download the memory. It's automatically running inside a web UI, as you can see, and then inside Claude Code now, it automatically remembers stuff and we're good to go on that. So I think it's a really powerful feature. It helps me a lot because, you know, for example, let's say there's certain workflows that I use with Claude Code every day. Well, if I have to shut down and then reopen it, that's super annoying. Whereas if I have a permanent memory, well, it's pretty much ClaudeBot, right? It's pretty much as good as ClaudeBot. I think there's not much really that you can't do inside Claude Code that you could do inside OpenClaw, right? The only difference is like you're using it inside your terminal. Whereas, for example, if you're using OpenClaw, you're using that directly inside Telegram. But with the memory feature, it solves a lot of problems. It saves a lot of tokens as well. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get the full guide on this, you can get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Just go to the classroom here, link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. And inside the 9th of November, you can see the full guide, plus a link on how to set up persistent memory, plus how it works with Claude Code. All right. And this is my AI automation community where I show you how to save time, scale, and grow with AI automation. You can post questions inside the community here and get help and support whenever you need it. Additionally, you can see inside the classroom, we've got all sorts of stuff. So if you want to learn how to go from like complete beginner to expert with AI, you can see that right here. Plus, you learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. Additionally, you will learn, for example, inside the playbooks here, how to automate avatar videos, Instagram videos, newsletters, Twitter, shorts, etc. And inside the classroom, you can get my daily updates. So if you check out this section, you can see, for example, we're updating this every day with new tutorials like you can see. Also, inside the classroom here, you can learn how to get more clients with the agency course. You can learn how to rank #1 with AI SEO based on what's working for me. And you get a full course on how to grow your YouTube with AI based on what's working for me as well. So feel free to get that link in the comments description or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. So today I'm going to show you 3 powerful ways that Claude Code is basically unstoppable with now, right? There's been 3 new updates, huge updates really within the last sort of 7 days that make Claude Code more powerful than it's ever been, right? So these methods are #1, fast mode, which means that you can produce outputs 2.5 times faster inside Claude Code. #2 is persistent memory, so it can remember every session that you have previously if you set it up the right way, and I'll show you how to do that today. And then #3 is that you can actually use agent teams, and you've got Opus 4.6 running inside there, right? So if we type in Claude inside the terminal here, we can select our model. And the first thing that I would recommend doing if you want to make sure Claude is as powerful as it can be is run Opus 4.6, right? This is the most powerful API that you can use for Claude Code. Once you've done that, then you want to go into your settings. Go to admin settings. This is only if you want the most powerful version of this, right? But you can use something called fast mode inside Claude Code, right? So if we go to Claude Code here, I'm just going to enable fast mode. This is in research preview, but it allows you to run Claude Code 2.5 times faster than it would normally be, right? Which makes you 2.5 times more productive. So if we put /fast inside the chat here, we can now switch on fast mode. And if you just press up on the arrows and then press enter, we can now switch on fast mode. Again, this rinses tokens, so it's not it's not something you would have on all the time, but if you want to make it even more powerful, you can. So Opus 4.6 and then fast mode. From there, what we also want to do is make sure that we have persistent memory set up. This allows Claude Code to remember every session before, right? And the reason for that is like if you set up a project and then you want to run a new one, well, it's going to be super annoying if it doesn't remember anything that you worked on previously, because you would have to load in the old project, which takes up more tokens, consumes your time, and makes you less productive, right? Now, if you want to install this, literally all you do is you just go into Claude Code terminal and you just say install this, right? I've got a full guide inside the AI Profit Boardroom, and from here you can install it. I've already installed this plugin. So if I say, what did I work on earlier today in Claude Code, it should tell me. And then it can read through what we previously worked on, right, earlier today, which is pretty cool. So it's like, here's what's in today's sessions. We've also got Claude Memory as a web UI running in the background too. So if we scroll through here, we can see the console logs and we can see what happened previously. Now, the final thing that I'd recommend setting up is teams, right? So what you can do, I've got a full guide inside here. But basically, with Claude agent teams, you can run multiple different agents at the same time. Now, if you're running them in fast mode with memory on Opus 4.6, then you've got a really powerful team of agents that can communicate to each other, talk to each other, etc. Right? So if I go inside the chat and the terminal here, and I'm like, right, okay, use agent teams to design 3 thumbnails at the same time. We can use the agent teams feature to assemble a team directly inside here, and then we can select between what type of thumbnails we want. So we want YouTube thumbnails. I'm going to click on surprise me, and then it says submit answers, so we'll go with that. And you can see it says, okay, great, 3 YouTube thumbnails, creative themes, all generated in parallel, right? Let me set up the team. So we're using fast mode, Claude Memory, Opus 4.6, and then agent teams directly inside Claude Code. And it's generating 3 different thumbnails. So you can make it like almost 5 times as productive, because you've got number 1, fast mode, which runs 2.5 times faster. And then number 2, multiple agents working on the same project at the same time, right? And it's actually finished all 3 thumbnails literally in one go. So if I say open them up, there we go. We've just created 3 thumbnails. I mean, they're not particularly good thumbnails. Like, I didn't give it a good prompt for improving them, but you can see how we quickly created those using Claude Code and the terminal right here, right? It's incredibly easy to set up. So that's basically how to make Claude Code way more powerful, way more productive, way faster than it previously was. And all of these are pretty much easy to set up. You know, if you want to set up any of these, you can just ask Claude Code how to set them up directly, or you can check out the guides inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So if you want to set up persistent memory, we have a full guide right here. If you want to set up agent teams, we also have a full guide here. And if you want to set up Claude Code fast, we have a full video tutorial on exactly how to use that as well inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Client Flow says, since Claude Code is so powerful, is OpenClaw still worth the effort of setting it up? I mean, number 1, OpenClaw is not hard to set up, right? I've set it up in 2 minutes on the live stream today. And number 2, like if you prefer to use a messaging app to control AI rather than the terminal, then I would 100% say it's worth using it. But there's not much that Claude Code can't do that OpenClaw can do. So that's something to be aware of as well. So thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. It's available, link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. Inside the community, you can ask questions, get help and support whenever you need it. And you can see this. There's so many people winning with AI inside here. So these are all the wins from the last 7 days. And you can see there's loads of cool stuff getting set up right here. Loads of people winning with this stuff. And then also we have a daily accountability group. So if you find this stuff overwhelming, or you get information overload, or it's a bit too much for you and you want to stay focused, this is the best way. Also inside the classroom, you can jump on the 5-week AI automation masterclass and go from beginner to expert with AI in just 5 weeks. Plus learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. You'll learn all of my best playbooks for how I automate my business, for example, for Shorts, YouTube, for X and Twitter, for AI avatar videos, etc. And then inside the classroom as well, you can get my best SOP updates on, for example, like OpenClaw or Moltbot. We have a full 6-hour course on OpenClaw. Additionally, you can learn how to set up all of these new updates that come out every day. So every day we update this daily. You can see, for example, on the 9th of Feb, we have 3 new updates inside the AI Profit Boardroom with new guides, etc. And then additionally, you can jump on weekly coaching calls. You can jump on these live video calls, these live Zoom sessions, share your screen, meet the community, get help, get support in real time. And additionally, you can learn how to get more clients with the agency course. You can learn how to rank #1 with AI SEO here, and you'll learn how to grow and scale a YouTube channel using the YouTube AI roadmap right there. So feel free to get that link in the comments description, or go to the aiprofitboardroom.com. Thanks for watching.